All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I would anticipate a few others will be joining as we do our intro, but I'd like to welcome you all on this Veterans Day. If we have any veterans in our group watching, we thank you. We'd like to take this moment to thank you for your service. So we have for you today, so you want to sell online, huh? And we have Rob Stutzman, our subject matter expert from the Boston chapter, although I'm guessing he probably does help others throughout the district as well. I want to talk first about SCORE as we get started. I definitely strongly encourage you to check out all the training programs that we do offer. I strongly encourage you to check out the websites as well. There's tons of great information on the websites. I will post those for you shortly. But I want to start with talking about the most important thing that SCORE does is the mentoring. Mentoring is free and confidential. Our mentors are volunteers that are giving of their time so that they can share their experiences and their knowledge with anyone out there that is thinking about starting a business, is in the process of starting that business, or already is in business. I am often asked how the sessions work. First of all, you do not have to have a business plan already. You do not have to have a business license. As I mentioned, you can just be thinking about starting that business, and we can help you sort through things that you need to consider. Sessions are generally 30 to 45 minutes, and they can vary slightly. The first session is going to be getting to know the mentor, and the mentor getting to know you, because it is definitely really important, because it is a kind of a relationship. They will look at where you're at and work with you to create some sort of plan or goals to work with, potentially short-term and long-term goals. So they're there to help you stay on track and to know what needs to be focused on in the moment or in the future. Okay, as I mentioned, here are the chapters in our district, and I will put those into the chat after this. You can get a mentor or sign up for a mentor on the website. You could also just put a quick note in chat, just say, hey, I'd like a mentor, and I will make sure the right chapter reaches out to you to connect you with someone. We are going to use the Q&A tab today. As I mentioned earlier, we do anticipate a pretty decent attendance today, so I don't want to lose track of your questions. So please put those questions in the Q&A tab so that I do not lose track of them. I will ask those questions to our presenter as we go through today. You can use chat for everything else, and I will try and keep an eye on the chat as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take that down, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Go ahead, Rob.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Teresa. And let me add my word of welcome to everyone on this Veterans Day Friday. For those who are veterans, we thank you so much for your service to our country. I am getting myself set up here. Okay, so you want to sell online, huh? What we're going to do is we're going to go through e-commerce. Certainly tips and tricks that can be done at any active audience. So Teresa has set up a poll for us, and if you would take a minute to
there are a couple questions there, so if you can click on it and scroll down a little bit and capture all those questions. Rob, you might want to turn off your video because you keep freezing for me. And just make sure we're
Okay.
And then you'll have to put your slides, you'll have to put your slides back up. The share for the slides went down,
All right. Thank you.
which
very
is fine because we are waiting for everyone to reply to our poll. So not a problem.
much. Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else said that too. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we
While
got
we're waiting for that to finish up, let me just give you a little bit of information of myself. I am a 30-year veteran of Verizon Telecommunications. I started out with MCI, and then MCI got acquired by Verizon. And while I was there, I led global teams and marketing initiatives. So have a very strong background. I started out in sales, then moved from sales into marketing. When I retired, I started my own company, and my company does consulting to people privately on subjects of marketing strategy and marketing planning. But of course, anything I do for SCORE is done free of charge. And as Teresa mentioned, I am a subject matter expert. Within SCORE, you have those who act as mentors, who kind of work with clients holistically on a variety of different topics. What I do is hone in on more of the sales and marketing issues that our clients are having, and I co-counsel with our mentors to come and get to know our clients and help them out. If you want to reach me after the call, this is my email address. I'd be happy to help you in any way that I can. All right, with that said, the poll results are up. Do you currently conduct e-commerce? So more of you are not conducting e-commerce than are, and that's good. And there's a fair, so about 2/3 of you want to be in the e-commerce space, so that's good. What do you currently sell? Hard goods are those things that are, items, products. Soft goods are more things like software or other types of soft good type things. Services is if you're in a service industry, and other. If you did put other, if you want to just stick in the chat what it is that you currently sell, that'd be great to know. We appreciate that. So again, about half of you are selling goods, products, and then about a quarter of you are selling services. And e-commerce is different for those two different items that are being sold. The third question: which e-commerce platform do you think small businesses and entrepreneurs should use? Actually, the answer we were hoping that you would select is it depends, because it depends. And what we'll see as we go through the webinar today, you'll see that some platforms are more conducive for some types of products, and other platforms are conducive to other types of products. So put on your seatbelts. We're going to take off here and go through the big six in the e-commerce space. If I can get my slides to advance. Okay, we're going to go through, we're going to define e-commerce. We're going to go through the top platforms. We're going to talk about what the platform is, what are the key elements, the use cases, the benefits, and the costs. We're going to talk about choosing the right platform, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming in the future. So pure and simply, e-commerce is the activity of electronically buying or selling of products, of online services, or over the internet. E-commerce has been around, believe it or not, since the mid-90s. When the internet itself became ubiquitous and email became ubiquitous, and everybody was setting up websites and everybody was sending each other emails, it soon became apparent that we need to somehow leverage this thing called the internet, the World Wide Web, and use it for the purpose of commerce. And so that's when e-commerce was really born in a big way, where more and more people are using it. E-commerce and mobile e-commerce is not to be overlooked, is that people are not only doing e-commerce with their desktop computers, they're doing it over their mobile devices. It's dramatically changed the way brands reach their customers. It makes it faster and easier for consumers to make purchases on the fly while avoiding the hassles of going to the store. I think we all have seen articles about people like Amazon who are overtaking other forms of selling, and people are, instead of going to the malls, are deciding I'm going to order online this year. So e-commerce has really gained its foothold within our culture and within our society. So why do small businesses use e-commerce? Really, the best use of e-commerce, the one that's most popular among small businesses, is disintermediation, which is a big word for just cutting out the middleman. If you could think about traditional commerce, in the past, you would have to manufacture a product. You would have to take that product to a wholesaler. That wholesaler would turn around and sell it to a retailer, who would then sell it to you as the consumer. So the person creating the product was not speaking directly to the consumer of their product. So what e-commerce has done, it has allowed businesses to go directly to the consumer and to make their case and to conduct business with consumers. So it's actually less expensive too, because you don't have the markups that occur when you have to go through wholesalers and retailers. People use e-commerce for market reach. Within these different platforms, and just about all of them are worldwide. If you have a product or service that is popular nationwide, this gives you a platform to get that product or service out to a nationwide audience. Businesses use it for brand testing. They'll put something out there, and you can imagine, again, traditionally, I'd create a product. I might have to bring that product into a test group, and then they have to get that test group to give me their opinion. But that was always a very small group, and it was, limited in its opinions. Now you can put something out on these platforms, out on e-commerce, get immediate feedback, and know very quickly which of your products is selling better than the other. Competitive analysis, you can conduct competitive analysis very quickly and very inexpensively, simply by searching on the internet and seeing what your competitors are up to. The same thing with the market. You can get access to information and articles, and you can join groups within social media and have an understanding of what's the buzz, what's the pulse that's happening within your addressable market. You can use it for new product launches, and you can ultimately use it to drive top-line revenue growth. So why is e-commerce so important? It's important because it's growing, and you can just see in the last 15 years how e-commerce is almost $1 trillion marketplace out there. So it's caught the attention of all of the large retailers that are out there. Everyone realizes that they have to be in the e-commerce space because that's where the customers are. So today we're going to go through Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Etsy, Facebook, and Google. And to harness the power of the big six is to harness the future of e-commerce. It really is. Let's talk about Amazon. Amazon is the company that's been referred to as one of the most influential economic and cultural forces in the world, as well as the world's most valuable brand. Amazon, which originally started out just selling books, now sells just about everything you can imagine. And it has become a force within the world of e-commerce, and it is the leader. Amazon's known for its disruption of well-established industries through technological innovation and mass scale. They first disrupted the book industry. They since have moved on and have disrupted other industries as well. And whenever an industry just even hears about the fact that Amazon might enter into their space, it sends tremors through them, and they have to create a plan on how they're going to combat Amazon. It's the world's largest online marketplace for business-to-business and business-to-consumer sales. Probably most of us think of Amazon as the business-to-consumer space. It also has a very healthy business-to-business marketplace as well. So if you have an item that you want to sell to other businesses, Amazon can be a great platform to put that out on. In 2021, the worldwide revenues were $469 billion. which were up over 20% from the year prior. And what's interesting, Walmart, which is the largest in the retail space, traditional brick and mortar, had revenues of 559 billion, but they were only up 6.7 from the year earlier. So Amazon is catching up. So what are the key elements? The key elements in Amazon is you have a listing. You can choose to have that item fulfilled by you, or you can choose to have it fulfilled by Amazon. They provide customer service, and they are the premier customer service provider in the e-commerce space. They have great response times, and they're very reasonable to when you bring your issue to them. They realize that to get the issue resolved as quickly as possible is in the best interest of both the customer and themselves. If you're in a nonprofit, one of the ways you can raise funds is to sign on to smile.amazon.com and advertise that to your constituency. And if they order items from the smile.amazon.com, which has virtually everything you'd see on amazon.com, you get a percentage of that sale coming back to your nonprofit. So it's a great way to have just some additional revenues coming in. Seller Central is where you have a space for you as the vendor to conduct your business and see how you're doing within the Amazon space. All of these platforms have costs. Amazon's, they charge for individuals 99 cents for each item sold if you have under 40 items per month. If you're more of a professional seller, meaning you have over 40 items per month, you pay $39.99 per month, but that's a flat fee regardless of how much you sell. There are referral fees. When you sell an item, Amazon is going to withhold a percentage of that item for referring that individual to you and selling that product. And it's going to be anywhere from 8 to 15%, depending on what kind of item it is and what category it's within. There are fulfillment fees based on the weights and dimensions of products. And even if you do the fulfillment by seller, you still have to, or Amazon is still going to charge you shipping costs. So you need to make sure that the shipping costs you put on your items are in line with what Amazon is going to post on their site out there. There's inventory fees if you want Amazon to hold inventory, and there's advertising fees if you want to advertise within the Amazon marketplace. And you can think about, again, in traditional commerce, I could be in the Mall of America and I could be in which is the largest mall in the United States, and I could be in some hallway, not really on the main thoroughfare. If I'm going to get foot traffic coming into my store, I've got to figure out a way to create visibility. So I might advertise within the mall to get people to come to my store. Well, this same holds true for Amazon. You might advertise yourself within Amazon to get people to come to your particular storefront or to purchase your particular item that's out there. If you want to dig in more deeply about pricing within Amazon, go to sell.amazon.com/pricing, and they're very good at laying out all the different costs that you will incur, and then you will have an idea of what you're going to need to price your item at if you want to make a profit. Some use cases. It's predominantly used for hard goods. If you've ever been out on Amazon, I'm sure we all have. It's generally items that they're selling. There's very little services that are sold on Amazon. It's more of a catalog of items for people. There's brand recognition when you're associated with Amazon. That's great. People know Amazon. They trust Amazon if they find that you're aligned with Amazon. That gives power to your brand. There's outsourced fulfillment. If you don't want to be in the practice of picking and packing and shipping, they'll do that for you. There's greater traffic on Amazon than any of the other marketplaces that are out there. And there's exposure. You get exposure to other people that are on the Amazon platform. The benefits you receive is you have a global reach. You have an established, trusted brand that you're doing business with. You have a highly trafficked site. You have excellent customer service, and you have the largest online marketplace in the US. The other item of note is when people come into Amazon, they generally are predisposed to purchasing, and they go into Amazon, they're searching for items. And so because they're searching for items, when those items come up, they're probably searching for it because they're in position to purchase and they just want to do some comparative shopping. So having a presence on Amazon gets you on the largest marketplace in the US, just the same as if you were in the Mall of America, you'd be the largest mall in the United States to sell your goods and services electronically. eBay facilitates consumer to consumer and business to consumer sales through its website. It manages the eBay site, which is an online auction and shopping website in which people and businesses buy and sell a wide variety of goods and services worldwide. It's free to use for buyers, but sellers are charged fees for listing items after a limited number of free listings. And again, when those items are sold. So what you get with eBay is when you go on the eBay site, it has a very powerful search engine. It's very easy to use. You could put in items that are perhaps a little bit more discreet, maybe not well known. You could do a search on Amazon and it might show up. You could do a search on eBay and it might show up. You have an auction capability. If you want to put an item out there and to try to drive up the price through an auction, you can do that through eBay. But they also offer a buy it now. If somebody sees it, they think it's a fair price, they can just immediately buy it and not have to go through the auction process. You have listings. You have a seller protection. eBay ensures that you're dealing with legitimate buyers that are out there. And there's an eBay store as well. They've got their own marketplace within their platform. The costs for the first 250 listings, they're free. Then it's 35 cents per listing thereafter. And the final value fee is a percentage of the total amount of the sale, which is usually 10 to 15% based on the category, plus 30 cents per order. So the good thing about eBay versus Amazon, it's a little less cost to get on the platform. So you could get on their platform, you could see that your product is beginning to move and you're starting to get volume. Then you could consider, maybe I'll now move over to the Amazon platform and I'll be on both platforms as you're beginning to generate revenue. But if you're just starting out, you might want to consider eBay as a way to get yourself up and running for relatively lower cost. People selling stuff on eBay, again, are predominantly selling hard goods. They're selling via auctions. eBay is a global platform. It's self-governing. If people don't like you as a seller, they're going to rate you, and then you're going to get a rating. And if your rating is not high, then people are not going to purchase your items. So it's a self-regulating platform that ensures that the best sellers are on the platform. It's great for collectibles and rare goods. You could just, again, think of a very, something that's not very widely known. You could do a search within eBay and come to find out somebody somewhere is actually selling that item, which gives you an indication if you have competition in that item in your space at all. It can be great for reducing outdated inventory. If you're keeping your inventory right now, and if you see that there are items that are not moving and you need to reduce the inventory cost, you could put those items out on eBay. You could move them through the eBay marketplace and reduce your inventory as a result. The benefits of using eBay: it's a well-known site. You can outsource fulfillment to them as well. It's both domestic and international in its reach. It's an opportunity to bid up products. And it's for online shoppers who prefer marketplaces. All right, let's shift focus now to Shopify. Shopify is a subscription-based software that allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. They offer a suite of services that they include payments, marketing, shipping, and other customer engagement tools. They also have a point of sale inventory integration. If you have a brick and mortar retail store and you want to sell through that store as well as sell online, Shopify will enable you to integrate your point of sale system with your inventory system, with your e-commerce system, so that you have one platform managing those two entities. The company has more than 1.7 businesses in approximately 175 countries using its platform as of May of 2021. So key elements of Shopify. Shopify is an online store. It's different from Amazon and eBay in that it's not as much a marketplace as it is an online store. It's an opportunity for you to set up a website, and it gives you great ability to customize your website. And within that website, you can have a buy button, you can have a checkout, you can have sales channels, you can have a storefront, and you can get additional elements through their app store. The cost for setting up a Shopify storefront is $29 per month for the basic, and then if you want more advanced, they have a mid-range for $79 a month and advanced Shopify at $299 per month. You can get shipping discounts of up to 88% using Shopify, and additional fees for online credit card rates, and in-person credit and debit card rates, and transaction fees if you're not using the Shopify payments. So use cases, people will go out and create a Shopify site because it gives them the ability to create an online presence that's built around their brand. You're not conforming to the Amazon storefront. You're not conforming to the eBay listing parameters. You're creating your website out there that talks about you. And it gives the added element of someone who is out on the site, wants to purchase something, they will go through and do the fulfillment and ship the goods. You have greater control over your storefront, and it's really outsourced management of an e-commerce site. It's great for showcasing products and projects, and it's great for press releases. It's also great for reaching a younger demographic. I see we have a question that came in. Okay. Perhaps Teresa can answer that one. She will know.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Okay, let's talk about Etsy. You may have heard about Etsy. You may not have heard about Etsy. Etsy is an online marketplace where independent crafters and artists and collectors can sell vintage, handmade, or custom-made jewelry, clothing, home decor, arts, toys. It competes with Shopify and it competes with Amazon, but has really carved out a corner of the market thanks to a seller pool that's over 80% women. So if you have items that are going to appeal to a woman buyer, and if it's an item that is more of a craft item or a vintage item, you want to look into Etsy as a place to put that out and expose that to potential buyers that are out there. They focus on handmade and vintage items. The vintage items must be at least 20 years old. And everything that's on the site is made, collected, curated, and sold by its sellers. It's a marketplace. It has listings. It also has seller services. It does third-party payment processing, and it has the ability to advertise on their site as well. You can create a shop on Etsy for free. However, each listing that is posted on the shop costs 20 cents, and each listing will remain on the shop's page for a maximum of 4 months or until someone buys the product. The prices of products are set by the shop owner, but Etsy claims 5% of the final sale price of each listing and 5% of the postal fees. So you can see that it's also a way to get your item out there and to expose it to a marketplace for relatively lower cost to get it up and running. Some use cases, again, is for selling primarily hard goods. It's more for niche selling. It's more for people that have items that are potentially rare, or items that are not well known, or items that are vintage, or items that are collectibles. You'll also see these items on eBay as well. A lot of times people will take their items and put them on eBay. You could put them on both to get exposure over both platforms. It caters to a discerning customer base. When somebody, again, finds your item and they're going to search for products that you're going to show up under, they're already predisposed to purchase, and they're going to be discerning. They're going to be a little, they're going to want to know the value that they're getting for the item that they're purchasing. And so there's probably going to be more interaction between you and the buyer before you actually sell them the item. But it gives you the ability to also differentiate to them how your product or service is different from others. And it's an up-and-coming e-commerce platform. I don't have the growth statistics at my tips of my finger, but they have exploded in growth over the past 10 years as well, to be a force within the e-commerce space. I'm going to talk about Facebook. For the only real reason is because it's Facebook, and there's over 2 billion users on their platform today. To keep people within the Facebook ecosystem, they've put up a marketplace. You can buy and sell items in primarily a business to consumer environment, but although it says marketplace, it has more of a classified ad look and feel to it. When you go into the marketplace, you can search for different items, but it's items that people are selling. Occasionally you'll see businesses are selling those items, but you have a feeling that you're on looking through Craigslist for some kind of classified ad. So yeah, in e-commerce, not as much of a force as they have been in other areas of social media, but again, they're a force to be reckoned with. If they start paying attention to it, you can imagine that they'll be putting a lot of effort and dollars behind it to get it out there. They also, Facebook owns, or Meta owns Instagram. Instagram recently introduced a buy feature. It's on their mobile platform. So if you're looking at Instagram on your mobile device and you see something that you want to buy, you can purchase it through your mobile device. So there's an e-commerce platform on Instagram that is owned by Facebook. The elements, again, listings, browsing, live shopping, notifications, buying, selling. You get a seller dashboard and you can put promotions out there. The costs, selling fee of 5% per shipment, or a flat fee of 40 cents for shipments of $8 or less. It includes taxes. It includes the cost of payment processing. It applies to all checkout transactions for all product categories on Facebook and Instagram. If a customer files a chargeback, Facebook will hold on the transaction amount until the chargeback is resolved, and any fees you incur will appear in your financial reports. All of the costs on all of the platforms, you are best to go out on their site, and you're going to have to dig for pricing, but you're going to want to know all of the hidden fees that are associated within these different platforms to get a real idea of what it's going to cost to sell your goods through their platforms. Again, business to consumer sales. You can put up classified goods. You could sell it to a local geography. If I put in golf clubs, for instance, it'll give me people selling their golf clubs in my general area. So if you put a listing up on their marketplace, you'll get people within the general area that are going to see it. You can sell with photos and videos. Again, their ecosystem has over 2 billion users, and you can use it as well for selling outdated inventory. Outdated inventory, maybe something, it's an event. It's not something you're going to be constantly doing. So using a platform such as eBay or Facebook allows you to kind of put an event out there and move some of that inventory that isn't moving. It's great for business to consumer. There's billions of potential customers. It's also international in scope. Within Facebook, when they go to the Facebook marketplace, you've got a captive audience. They're staying within the Facebook ecosystem. And what you'll want to do as well is to set up a company website. And this is good for those who are selling services. You'll want to set up a company website within Facebook, but you're probably going to use more of their social media tools than you're going to be using their e-commerce tools if you're selling services out there. E-commerce lends itself more to people that are selling hard goods. And it's easy access. It's right from the Facebook platform. You'll see it when you sign on to Facebook. It's right there. You can easy click and you're in the marketplace. The last we're going to talk about is Google. Google's is a service which allows users to search for products online and compare prices between different vendors. It's free. It requires a personal Google account in order to purchase from the platform. But in addition to shopping from well-known online stores, users can shop with confidence at lesser-known online stores when they choose to buy directly on Google, which includes a Google-backed guarantee. The guarantee includes Google's customer support, their added assistance if something goes wrong with the shipment. They simplify the return and refund process. They are competing with Amazon. They are the only other platform of scale that is as big as Amazon is and has as many potential customers that Amazon has, but they do it differently than Amazon. They have not created a marketplace per se. The elements you get with Google, you get a merchant center, which is where you're going to set up your store or set up your site, your listing. It's going to give you dashboard type items to see how you're doing. You can set up campaigns. You can create Google ads, and they give you best practices support and 7x24 customer support. As far as cost, there's 0% commission, and the average where you're going to pay, and this is where Google makes a lot of their revenue, is through clicks. If somebody clicks on your item, they're going to charge you, and the average cost per click is $2.69. Now, this is not, it's a cost per click, not when the item is purchased. So somebody could click on you and come and look at your item and not purchase, and you're still going to be charged $2.69. So something to be aware of on that. The Google auction can drive the cost per click prices higher, and it's contingent upon factors like what industry, current trends, and product or service costs. Google's price structure is similar to Facebook. If you have particular keywords, and if those keywords are more popular, it can drive the cost up, and you have to auction. They're going to auction them off, so you have to bid to get that particular keyword, so you get your listing high up on the search window. If you're just starting to run Google Ads, it's usually a good idea to begin conservatively. The best way to ensure that you don't overspend on Google Ads is with a low daily budget, and Google will work with you on setting what's appropriate for you. Again, a long-term customer for them is far more valuable for them than to have to constantly go out and acquire new customers. This is where Google is different from the others. Google drives eyeballs to website. Again, when people go into Google and they're searching for a product, they're predisposed to purchasing that product or service. This could hold true for services as well. But when you do that and you click on a link, that link takes you out of Google and sends you directly to your website. So the user gets away from all the noise. They come to your website. You're able to dialogue with them directly. They're already interested in what you have to offer. Otherwise, they wouldn't have clicked. And so it gives you the ability to sell directly to them on a one-on-one basis. The other platforms are marketplaces. It's where people are going in and they're browsing and they're looking for different things, and you just have your listing out there on those marketplaces so that they find you. But with Google, they're coming directly to your storefront. And you could have a storefront on Shopify, for instance, and somebody who clicks on your listing would go to the Shopify website and purchase from that platform. And so that's a great way that these platforms can work with each other as well. It's the #1 driver of business to retail sales. It's the first place shoppers go to discover a new item or product. There's over 1 billion users. It's got global reach, and it's got broader distribution. And so if you are on Google and you put in a product or service, and you see across the top shopping, and you click on shopping, that's just, again, taking them directly to your website. And those listings that are showing across the top under shopping are people who have purchased that space, if you will, from Google to get themselves up higher on the search window. So what's the same about all these? They all provide listings, they all provide advertising options, they all provide fulfillment, or most, I should say, provide fulfillment. Most provide returns and shipping. Most provide credit cards, transactions, and all of them are getting big and getting bigger. What's different? Amazon is a trusted provider with a very high user volume. Amazon is the gold standard within the e-commerce space because of everything they do, because of the efficiency of their site and purchasing the item, because of the way they communicate with customers as the item is being prepared and shipped, the way they handle customer issues and returns, and just the sheer breadth of what they have to offer. They really are the gold standard in e-commerce and are probably the most expensive. eBay provides both an auction and sales price option. So if you're looking for something where you might want to leverage an auction, you want to consider eBay. Shopify provides easy storefront setup and outsourced fulfillment. So if you don't want to be in a marketplace, you want to have your own site, but you don't want to have to be managing it or outsourcing it to a web developer, you can outsource it to Shopify, and they'll work with you to create a storefront that, again, is branded to your look and feel. Etsy provides reach to niche markets. Facebook and Meta is primarily focused on the individual consumer, and Google drives traffic to the client's website, to your website. If you want to be associated with the world's largest e-commerce site, you'll want to consider Amazon as a top priority. If you want to auction items as well as sell items, you want to consider eBay as a top priority. If you want a turnkey storefront with back-end fulfillment support, you'll want to consider Shopify as a top priority. If you want to reach a niche market, you will want to consider Etsy as a top priority. And if you offer a consumer-oriented product, you will want to consider Facebook. And if you want to drive business to your website, you'll want to consider Google as a top priority. So, which do you choose? With limited resources, small businesses are wise to do the research to determine which provider will give them the biggest bang for their buck. What's so good about e-commerce versus brick and mortar is that, generally speaking, the upfront cost of getting in and getting a listing and getting yourself set up is far less expensive than setting up a brick and mortar site. You don't have leasing issues to worry about. You don't have parking issues to worry about. You don't have landlord issues to worry about. It can be a great way to get your product or service out there and get it up and running and grow into a brick and mortar environment, which you see Amazon has done. Amazon has opened up Amazon stores. We never thought that Amazon would ever be in the brick and mortar space, but they see there's certain advantages and they can leverage it, and so they've moved into that space themselves. Decide whether to build your own or leverage a platform. Again, it's all about control. If you're on the marketplace platforms, they hold the control generally. They give you some ability to customize. If you're on Shopify, you have far greater ability to customize. So you just decide whether you want to, do it yourself or outsource it. Define your addressable market, to determine who am I really trying to reach? Am I trying to reach a local audience, or am I trying to reach a regional audience, or am I trying to reach a national audience? You're going to find that all of the platforms are, they're global in scope. Some of them offer the ability for you to kind of refine and filter so that people only within the local area find your particular storefront. So you have to determine what your addressable market is. Determine how visual your product or service needs to be. They all provide some kind of images and pictures and an ability to describe the product. But if you have a highly visual product or service, you'll want to make sure that you're on sites that really promote the visual aspect of the sale. Decide how you want your goods fulfilled and payments processed. Megatrends. Here's what's coming down the road. Voice shopping. People are getting lazy. They don't want to punch their iPhone anymore, their mobile devices any longer. They want to be able to speak into them and have them go out and find different items. So voice shopping is on the rise. Artificial intelligence and augmented reality. It's an enhanced customer experience. It's just in its infancy, really. As much as you hear about artificial intelligence and augmented reality, a lot of it is still in its infancy. A lot of the AI is used on the back end to provide intelligent searching for people out there. But it's going to be coming more of the forefront as we move forward. Mobile commerce. If you're considering a platform, you're going to want to make sure that platform has an option for you to sell over mobile devices, because more and more people are purchasing through their mobile devices. Marketing automation. Do they have email capability, multi-channel tasks? Do they have something behind the scenes that can help you enhance traffic to your particular listing or to your particular site? Enhanced visuals. There's going to be just better and better images that are going to come out. There's going to be, you probably have already seen some 3D images that people have out there, and some, you can do a 360 around a particular item. Well, the visuals are just going to continue to get enhanced. Video marketing, you're seeing that on the rise as well. Now people, when they come out to a site, you'll see the item, you'll see the description, you'll see the image, and then you can see a video. You can actually see it being used. And so it's almost becoming expected. And if people find that your listing does not have a video, then they're a little bit more suspect. People trust videos over images. There's dynamic pricing. Because we live in such a competitive environment, a lot of the platforms are building in the ability to set dynamic pricing. If they see certain trends begin to occur, they could either increase or most likely to decrease pricing to meet the demand. Omnichannel shopping is a seamless experience between platforms, and all are talking about sustainability, about going green, and they want to be good for the environment. When you look at that precious 18 to 24 age group that's out there, they are wanting to know that you are being kind to the environment. Further down the road, you probably have heard this thing called metaverse. It is the next thing coming to e-commerce. However, right now, and what it is, it's an iteration of the internet. It supports 3D virtual environments, and it provides virtual and augmented reality. It does require a headset, and that's a barrier right now. It's beyond the internet. It's coming in probably in the next 5 years. Facebook is so sold on the metaverse that it's changed its name to Meta. It's invested $50 billion in coming up with or being the first to the metaverse to offer some enhanced customer experience. Apple, Microsoft, and Google are also pouring billions of dollars into environment. It will change the buyer and seller experience. Right now, immediately, it's kind of technology in search of a killer app. Nobody has really found where the foothold is going to be for metaverse. It could be in the area of gaming. It could be in the area of counseling and meeting, and it could serve services that are out there. But it's great technology that's searching for an application out there. Okay, since you've made it to the end of the presentation, I have a free offer for you. If you would like an e-commerce buying guide, which goes over what we covered within this webinar, just send an email to me and say, send me the guide. And I would be more than happy to send you the guide and again, to help you in any way that I can going forward. So with that, let's see if there's any Q&A.
Yeah, we do have a question that was posted. What are your thoughts on using WordPress to create an e-commerce store?
Yeah, WordPress is very popular. It's also a great way for you to create a very customized website as well. I have not personally looked into their e-commerce capabilities all that closely. I'm sure they probably provide it, but they are not getting the same kind of volume that a Shopify is getting, which is why I have not really. But send me an email. I'd be happy to research it for you and give you an answer.
Okay. And I would like to encourage you, if you don't want to have to type into Q&A, you can also use under the reactions, raise or on your Zoom bar, the raise hand icon, and I can unmute you so you can ask your question live. So that's also an option. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. This is in addition to the WordPress question, I think. They use a WooCommerce plugin, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, WooCommerce, again, if you want to build your own, if you want to have greater control over the look and feel of your site, then products like WordPress, products like WooCommerce are a great way for you to create a very highly customized site for yourself. I just have found that Shopify uses templates, but their templates, give you a certain measure of customization associated with them. They are better unless you want to move through a little higher learning curve. And WordPress and WooCommerce, are relatively easy tools to use. You can certainly use those, but when you do that, you're really making the decision. I want control and I want customization over the look and feel of my site.
Okay, I have a couple people with their hands raised. Jackie, you should be able to unmute and ask your question.
Thank you. Great presentation. I've been wanting a great overview on this, and I thank you. Two things. One, I was curious about the Facebook Marketplace. Having a Facebook account, I seem to see that, and it seems to be more consumer to consumer oriented. So I would be curious about your thoughts about that. That's my first question. And then second is, thank you for your offer about your book, your buying guide. Isn't it more selling guide that we're talking about, or is this a different take? Thank you for your answers. Thank you for your thoughts.
I'm sorry, the last part of your question was about the buying guide?
Thank you for your gracious offer. It's called, buying guide. And aren't we talking more about selling, or is this a different perspective?
I'll go backwards. I'll answer that first. The e-commerce buying guide is very similar to the information we covered on the presentation. It just goes into a little more detail. So it's a buying guide for you to determine which e-commerce solution is the best. As far as the first question, yes, you are correct about Facebook and their marketplace. It really is consumer to consumer. It's got a very much of a classified ads look to it. It does allow you to search. What's good about it is that it's geographic in nature. So when I go out and I search for something, it comes up and it's going to give me listings that are local to me. So if your addressable market is more local in nature, you might consider putting something out there to see what it is, because again, there are some people out there that use Facebook so much that to them, Facebook is the internet. It can be a great place to put something out there, give it a go, experiment, see if it works.
Okay, we have a question from Victoria. You can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I have some questions about inventory management. I know Shopify will offer that. Are there any other programs that you can, or platforms that you could suggest that are not Etsy or Amazon that may offer inventory management? Right now, what I'm using is Square. Is there anything else that you could suggest?
Not off the top of my head, because what I've really focused on is the big six here. But let me, again, send me an email with your question. I'd be happy to research it for you and give you an answer. I'm sure there are other niche players offering similar kinds of services. But for those who are looking for the greatest exposure of their product or service, that's why we've covered the big six here today.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me 1 second. We have Eugene. You can unmute and ask your question. I don't think we're hearing Eugene. Might be having some audio issues. Let's see if he can resolve it. I'll leave him up for a second, but we do have another question that's been posted. Thoughts on selling paintings and fabric?
Yeah, that could be an area. If you go out to Etsy, and you may already have, you'll find that people are selling paintings and collectibles out on the Etsy platform, because it's a little more artistic in nature. And so you might consider that. The other thing you might consider is Google. If you have something that's rather unique, if your paintings are, oil on canvas of landscapes or something like that, you could set something up on Google so that anybody looking for those kinds of items will come across your site and come and see your site. It means that you'll have to have a site for them to go to. So you'll want to consider, either setting up a website on your own or setting up a storefront through Shopify. But you might consider Google as well. You could consider eBay as maybe a test. It's not, people that go out to eBay today most of them are looking for kind of rare type of things, things that they can't readily find. And so they'll go out to eBay to try to find it. But it could, search it out, see what others are doing, and get an idea of whether it would make sense for you or not.
Okay, Eugene.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go for it.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Rob. I'm the one that was asking all the WordPress questions. Our next question is this: Do you know of a solution or an easier way to bulk upload products onto a website like a Shopify? Because I've been just seeing that everything seems like one by one. And what if I wanted to upload, like, let's say 5,000 products from a catalog I have? How would I do that?
I know that Amazon enables you to do that. you could do a bulk upload to Amazon and create a catalog of your items.
Oh wait, sorry, with pictures. So I understand we could put the Excel sheet in, but like I guess the issue is the pictures.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not aware of it. I mean, most of them are probably, but I mean, have you investigated Amazon? Have you seen what they offer?
Yeah, I actually set up an Amazon store. I'm trying to figure out how to really get that going. I actually have an e-commerce store in the NDVSD marketplace, which is part of like the Air Force First Look program, where they can purchase anything under $10,000 without using on their P card, I believe it's called. So that's a e-procurement site. So I've been exploring a lot of different avenues, but now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, how do I get these? And I've also been building some relationship with some suppliers. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do I get all these products uploaded?
Right. Okay. Again, send me an email. I'd be happy to research that for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have a couple questions that were typed in. I'm curious about packaging text / certification requirements to sell physical goods, gain sets for kids in the US. Excuse me.
Is this requirements of the platform or requirements of just commerce in general?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the person
Yeah.
that submitted that question could clarify. Next question. Oh, she says commerce in general.
Yeah, you're going to want to go to the U.S. Commerce Department and ask them, what requirements do I need to sell this? This is what I want to sell. What requirements do I need? You know, some of the platforms may help you in that, but they're probably going to guide you to the federal regulations that are out there.
Next question. I want to start a website where all the offerings for sale are non-physical. Maybe a few ebooks for sale events I'll be lecturing at, which I think maybe could be achieved with the Eventbrite plugin or widget, and courses. What platforms would you say are best for digital product sales?
Great question. This is a real good, soft good question. Depending on volume, you could set up a Shopify site, and that way when they come, it'll be your look and feel. You can promote. You'll have your own website address that you'll put out there, and then people can go to your website. The great thing about Shopify is it does allow the back end support that you'll need, so you can really focus on what you do best, and then have a place for people to go to purchase your items. Services, soft goods tend to lend themselves a little bit more towards a standalone e-commerce site versus being within a marketplace. If you have volume, however, Amazon started out a bookseller, so you might consider getting on the Amazon platform as well.
Okay. What are your thoughts about what platform might be used for green living products?
I'm assuming by green you're talking about plants
Or sustainability?
sustainability. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't read the full question.
Yeah. Sustainability, the leader in that space right now is Etsy. They take a portion of their revenues and they're putting it back into efforts to ensure that people are being green in what they do, and they're a very green company to work with. So if you have an item that maybe is a little different, maybe a collectible or vintage item, you might want to consider Etsy.
Okay. Is it detrimental to change or drop from a platform if you're not satisfied? Are there any downsides?
No, not really. People are finicky. And we like to think that people have brand loyalty out there. If you are a major brand and you drop from a site, people would be wondering, why did you do that? Was the site too expensive? Did the site not, is it charging you too much? For small business, it's you're among such a volume of other merchants that are out there. You can come in, you can make mistakes, you can try different things, you can see what works. If at the end of that it just isn't working, certainly you can disconnect from any of them. The thing that's great about e-commerce, it's got a relatively low barrier of entry. You can get out there, get your product out there, get known, and some people will get it to a point where I don't want to outsource fulfillment. I want to do my own fulfillment. I want to drive them to my website so that I can have control. And so people will shift over from Amazon to Google, and they'll say, I'll go out to Google and put my website, make it searchable within Google, and sell my goods and services that way.
Okay. All right. I know we have our last question. It's a little bit more specific, but we'll give it a go. If you want to list a few dozen products where orders are made and we drop ship with the manufacturer or distributors, would I struggle doing that with the WordPress, with or without the WooCommerce plugin?
Well, I would say it's probably going to be more involved because you're going to have some kind of linkage between yourself and the manufacturer or distributor in order to do that drop shipping. Not insurmountable, but it's going to be a little heavier effort on your part to get up and running, because you're going to have those types of capabilities in place. You might consider, again, if you want to have a little bit more control over the site, consider a Shopify, talk with them, say, this is what I want to do. I want to drop ship. Can I do that with you if I do fulfillment through you guys? And that way, you still have the benefit of a WordPress look and feel with a WooCommerce engine. It's not WooCommerce, but you have the Shopify e-commerce engine, and Shopify, who also can do work with you on fulfillment as well. So that'd be my recommendation. Okay.
Well, that'll be a wrap then. And we want to thank everybody for joining us today. And mostly we want to thank Rob for providing an incredible amount of information to everyone. And I wish you all have a great weekend.